All right, back again. Just gonna be brief. We're just gonna go over a little topic about one of the things that come up quite frequent is narcissists when they tell about past hardships, traumas from growing up and whatnot. A lot of times when you were with them, they were telling you about how you know others had done them wrong, others did this to them and that and everything under the sun. Typically, uh you have to understand that another major component to a narcissist is to playing victim. I mean, that goes hand in hand. I'm always leery of people who really harp on being the victim of something, right? And it's not just because someone has become a victim, because you have people with this new saying now about victim shaming and stuff like that. But we got to keep it real. We just got to be aware that uh, that tactic is used frequently by those who wish to manipulate and gain sympathy and gain and disarm the individuals that they are trying to go after. That happens a lot. People may overlook that. I don't know why, but um, I think that there are some cases where people are actually, shamed, but that's kind of, that's extreme. For people blaming a victim for being a victim, right? This is my personal opinion, but I think that comes from people who may be narcissistic or manipulative in general, wanting you to not not critique or critically analyze the position of them being a victim, right? So if we go into and say, oh, well, you're victim shaming, well, that just takes it all out. You got to just overlook it and you got to accept whatever position that they stand on as far as being a victim. Again, these tactics are used not only by narcissists, but sociopaths, psychopaths in general, borderlines too. And once you're disarmed because you feel like, how could they be dangerous? How could they harm or hurt me if they were a victim themselves? If they were or went through things themselves and had been targeted and so forth, you're going to identify with them, or you're going to have sympathy upon them. You're going to have more patience. You're going to give them more leeway, just because of the simple fact that they are stating that they were a victim. But many times when you can see and find that there's something that is offsetting about that, is because the behavior of victims are totally different. The real victims, at least. Behaviors of real victims are totally different from those that are narcissistic or manipulative individuals. All right. You don't really see aggressive, boastful victims all the time. Most of these who are really victimized, they play the shadows. They try to stay out the way. They don't want to be seen. They don't want to, they've been burnt before. So they become very observant people, quiet, but very observant, and even more so hypervigilant and aware of their surroundings more so, but mainly observant. Some or outspoken because they want to, you know, educate people on what they've went through and what's happened to them. But with narcissists, this is how they operate. They can take one thing and twist it to their advantage or to their benefit, right? So becoming a victim aligns them with other sources who may, quote unquote, have been victimized. And now they form that false rapport, right? Because, hey, they've been through the same thing you've been through. So y'all have something in common. It's okay to bond with this person because this person has had a similar experience just as you have. And that's where it all takes place and comes down to, in that aspect that, hey, you can trust this person because that's what they're looking for ultimately, is your trust. No one is on guard psychologically, just from a baseline point of view. No one's on guard for a victim. That's the victim. You're not on guard towards them. You're more or so in a position of being open and helping, sharing, caring to those individuals that are stating that they were victims. And what does that leave the person who falls for it? It leaves them totally off guard and caught, basically in the web of deceit and confusion that the narcissist is using. And this is how they got a lot of you as well, because in the victim mode, you start to feel sorry for them. A lot of you, when I see most of the time with people who were targeted by narcissists and how it lasted a long time, they felt sorry for the person. They felt sorry for that narcissistic individual from a humanistic standpoint, right? Just as a human, you just felt sorry because you empathize and put yourself in that situation. You may have even related it to some of your instances and upbringings. And basically, you begin to identify with a lot of what the narcissist went through as your situation or what you went through. And so it creates this bond, but you're bonding with a predator. You're bonding with someone who is out to dupe you, use you, mislead you, misguide you. And that's typically what goes on, what is happening in those instances. So I just say that beware of those who come on too strong with the victim role. Because at the end of the day, at a certain point, listen, we're all here just living a human experience, right? Nobody has all the answers. We're learning as we go. That includes from ourselves, from our parents, from your parents' parents, and down the line. You have to take into consideration each generation has a different experience because things are constantly evolving and changing. Your great-great-grandparents didn't have internet, cell phones. They didn't have information readily available at their fingertips. So, of course, their experience and what they went through is going to be totally unrelatable to where we are and who we are now and where we're at today as a society and the technology and everything that we have at our fingertips. They weren't able to listen to YouTube podcasts to get information. So imagine for them trying to figure out, they were only limited to their immediate circle. But with technology and everything being as it is, I mean, things that were once regionalized are now, it's you can go anywhere you want to be, really. You just get on the net, get on the internet and search for whatever you want. You never been to Sweden? Pull it up. Look it up on YouTube. There's people touring around showing you what it's like. You never been to Africa? Pull it up. You can pull up a country within Africa. You can pull up Ghana or Sierra Leone, wherever, and you can be there. My point is, they didn't have that. So the information that's now at our fingertips that we can use creates a different mentalities, different mindsets in general. So everything is different. So we have to look at it from a different perspective when we're analyzing how things are and what we should be looking for. Anyway, I don't want to dwell off too much into that. I'm rambling, but just be mindful that there are things that narcissists do when using situations to portray themselves as victims. All right. It's a powerful tactic. If you fall for it, it's not to say you shouldn't have any compassion, but just do your due diligence and, really knowing if that is the case in general, right? Anyway, hit the like button, share, subscribe. One-on-one consultations, you can hit me up in the email. Just click in the description box. And until next time, have a good one.